Electricast.
How many discounts does USAA Auto Insurance offer? Too many to say here. Multi-vehicle discount, safe driver discount, new vehicle discount, storage discount, legacy.
How many
discount.
discounts will you stack up? Visit USAA.com/auto discounts. Restrictions apply.
Hey, it's Paris. You know I love sparkly things, right? Like stars. Duh. And thanks to Hilton and Auto Camp, I just slept under them. Picture me, serving looks by the fire outside my luxurious Airstream, making s'mores with the kids, while a national park is our backdrop. The great outdoors meets Hilton hospitality. That's hot. Explore all the new ways to stay at Hilton.com. Hilton for the stay.
Hold on to your butts.
We are changing the course of history as we see it. That is what Wesley demands.
Now this affects Iris. Iris, where are you?
What you feel only matters to you.
I do not entertain hypotheticals. The world as it is vexing enough.
Iris, I have a tip for you.
Don't take drugs!
Or whatever movies with Wesley and Iris.
What up? Welcome to Or Whatever Movies. I'm your co-host, Iris, and I'm here with my older brother,
Wesley.
Today we're talking a movie from 2025, available in theaters. The last installment of the iconic franchise?
Nope.
Okay, I was wrong. Jurassic World Rebirth, a Scarlett Johansson movie with dinosaurs. And with music by John Williams.
Not John Williams.
Well, you know, the theme.
Yes, which they worked in a few times because it felt too weird not to do it.
That's what I'm saying, though. They worked it in because this is really just a ScarJo movie with dinosaurs.
I'll admit that Jurassic Park getting Scarlett Johansson, who is recently the biggest box office star in movie history, she surpassed Sam Jackson, who surpassed Harrison Ford. Her movies have made more money than any other star in the entire world. Quite a get for the Jurassic franchise this late.
That's amazing. And somehow I find that dubious.
It might have been Jurassic World. What did it?
Jurassic World Rebirth?
Yep.
I asked you, Wes, I have one night and 2 tickets. What do I see? Jurassic World Rebirth or Superman? And you said what?
I said, that's a tough call. Follow your heart. And that is because Superman was fun in a different way. I have to admit, I was relieved that you chose Jurassic World because I felt like this was a good jumping in point. You didn't need to see Dominion or even Fallen Kingdom, I think, to enjoy, if you're gonna enjoy a Jurassic World movie.
True.
And ScarJo.
So you say that because it is essentially a reboot. It's not necessary to understand pretty much anything that went before. And formulaically, plot-wise, Rebirth a lot like the original Jurassic Park. Did you notice that?
I did, and that's probably because this is the return of David Koepp, who hasn't been around, as I understand it, since The Lost World. And Scarlett Johansson was a big fan, a huge fan of the franchise. She said she would have wanted to be in this even if she randomly died in the first 5 minutes. Steven Spielberg is still executive producing, but Gareth Edwards has a pretty good feel for this kind of movie, and I think they were looking to go back to simpler times. The other movies are trying to be spectacular and erupting volcanoes and crazy raptor action all over the place. And I was worried that going back to a simpler time wasn't going to be effective for a Jurassic World movie. How do you get them back into a park full of dinosaurs again?
Yes. The Ripley effect.
What possible justification could there be that would look, what I've come to understand is that a Jurassic World movie or Jurassic Park, a Jurassic movie is going to be made no matter what. Let's give it our best shot to get back in the park again in a plausible way. Dinosaurs were all over the world in Dominion, and now they're not. Now they can only survive, so they kind of naturally regress to this equatorial place where humans are not supposed to go. And who's going to go?
All of the remaining dinosaurs, the surviving ones have either migrated or been placed in the basically what has become like the equatorial sanctuary. But then specifically, our heroes go to Mutant Island. It's the place that Celia and I boated to in Cambodia. Remember, did I show you that video where we were arriving at Freak Island and we were greeted by a little one-armed boy who was floating in a bucket, paddling with his one arm? Did I ever show you this?
Yes, I do remember that. I don't. It was like, it wasn't like a Home Depot bucket. It was like a drum kind of personal saucer raft kind of vibe.
No, it was like a steel
drum looking thing.
Yes.
Yes, I do.
Yes, and so
I mean, if you have one arm, don't you just go in circles? Isn't that the question I asked you at the time?
I think his job was to be the island ambassador because he very skillfully was paddling on both sides of his bucket as he came out to greet us.
Oh, man.
So they're going to Mutant Island, and there's like a pseudo Ripley effect where they're recruiting the doctor scientist guy, and they appeal to his desire to see these things that he's been studying in the flesh. But it's a little weird because the whole world is ho-hum about dinosaurs, which I think in some ways reflects the general public's opinion about the Jurassic franchise. They're like, okay, another one. Right. It's like, okay, maybe I'll pay, maybe 12 people will go to the museum on its closing day.
It reflects the franchise because people are bored of dinosaurs. How do you make another interesting Jurassic World movie?
You tie it to the original Jurassic Park. And there are at least 4 references, I'm sure you have more, that directly tied it to Jurassic Park. Are you ready?
Are you quizzing me? Are you asking me to give them to you?
I'm going to give you my 4 references, and you can let me know if you noticed them.
Okay.
So they're in the city where homie, what's the poor man-looking Orlando Bloom guy?
Oh, the bad guy. Rupert Friend, that's Martin Krebs.
Krebs. So when Krebs is in New York, driving down the street in New York, we pan past a billboard that has like Discount Dino Tuesday or something. Did you see that?
I do remember the billboard stuff in the movies. I also spotted the Crichton Crichton Middle School or Elementary School. You know, Michael Crichton from the first movie, from the books.
I didn't see that. That's cool. Yeah, so this is basically, and the billboard was all like faded and just hadn't been replaced, but you could tell it was really old because this is reflective of people's malaise and kind of they don't care about dinosaurs. But isn't that exactly what Gennaro suggested in Jurassic Park 1?
Yeah, we could have a coupon day or something.
Right. He basically says, like, Poor People Tuesday.
Right. That's kind of a cerebral, obscure throwback to the first one. That wasn't like a direct visual reference.
No, but there was a direct visual reference. And that was when I expected ScarJo to say, Duncan, freeze!
With the flare?
Why does Mahershala Ali go all Ian Malcolm? And unnecessary hero with the flare.
He's trying to save the little girl, and he sacrifices himself nobly, I might add. It's not like he knew. This wasn't A Quiet Place where he chose to stand there and die after doing the Tarzan scream, spoiler. But that annoys, it's been like a decade. That still annoys the crap out of me. He was going to lure it away, but there were lots of opportunities. Throw the flare, for God's sake. Swim under the deck, Duncan. There are ways out of this. I think it was for the misdirect that we were going to assume, like everyone else, that he dies. And then he doesn't. And you're like, yay, or whatever. The mercenaries weren't bad. They were morally centered, and they were responsible with what to do with the DNA and stuff. And they weren't just soldiers there to die. We've definitely had soldiers there to die in the Jurassic World franchise. So did he still have the flare gun? How did he shoot the flare? And of course, then there's the obvious question, why didn't firing flares again when they came to find him lure the D-Rex back? But whatever.
Yeah.
The movie was over at that point. The D-Rex was gone. It was fine.
I was definitely expecting that the D-Rex was going to chop off his head when he was all laughing and smiling. He's like, I'm alive. That was the moment where the arm falls out of the grate, right?
I also expected the D-Rex to charge after them, churning the water and splashing where it barely gets away from its jaws. Instead, it was like, oh, there you are. Ah, it's too much effort. And he like pieces out. I wanted one more chase where they lure it out to sea and then they find that its
exactly.
molecular density is too great and it can't return to shore. So the D-Rex goes to its watery grave.
But speaking of the docks, when Krebs is like hightailing it and he's making his escape with the samples, did you not expect that dock sign that he sees to be turned the wrong direction?
Or to be spinning? And talking about in the Jeep, I don't know what we call it. It's not a Hummer. Whatever the vehicle it was that he stole?
Yeah, it was like a convertible Land Rover thing, but he's so fully Nedry piecing out to the docks.
Yeah, like we said, for any sequels, what do? You got to ratchet it up, heighten it, and kind of follow the same formula. It's very risky to go off script for a Jurassic World movie. You don't have to reinvent. You just have to make it better or justifiable to revisit, like Mission Impossible does. They amp up the stunts and the stakes every single time. And then they start running concurrent storylines where different things are happening, and it makes the standard Mission Impossible formula exciting again. So the run to the docks, a la Nedry, was good. What else you got? You said there were a couple more.
Well, I already gave you the Duncan Freeze quote, but there was another quote I was expecting, and maybe you can fill it in, for when they're paddling away in the rescue raft being chased by the T-Rex. Must paddle faster.
Now, that's not specific to Jurassic Park. That's specific to Jeff Goldblum, who uttered exactly the same line in Independence Day.
Did you not expect Bella to say, must paddle faster?
No, but when she said, like, you have to hurry, and it was right there, like it was nose to the back of the raft, that was very reminiscent of the Jeep scene.
That's what I'm saying.
He also looked back while he was in the city, and there was a very clear objects in mirror are closer than they appear, which was a throwback to the first movie. It's just little nods.
And they're fun, right? And they're fun. And I feel all proud as a Jurassic Park fan to have identified them.
I think you're missing the biggest, most obvious one.
Well, I have two more.
Go.
Actually, this one was just more of a misunderstanding. When the family kind of emerges from the jungle and the daughter sees the dock, what does she say to her dad?
I don't recall.
She says, I see a boat. And then she explains, you can't go. My boyfriend will stay with you. I'll go. I realized that's what she said after the sequence, because what I thought she said was, I see a goat. And I thought, and I was like, oh, so she's going to go get the goat. I mean, I guess they're probably hungry, right? So goat looks like a pretty tasty lunch. Like, she's going to go get the goat. She's going to go bring it back, and they're going to eat it. And the goat is obviously bait for, she was like, I see a goat. It's tied up. I was like, have you not seen the first Jurassic Park? Because if you see a goat, then there's obviously a T-Rex there. And there was a T-Rex there, but then there was no goat.
That's stretching a little bit. I can see what you mean, but stretching it. And are you aware that the raft sequence was straight out of the first book?
No.
Yeah. And this, I think, is what Rebirth has to offer. Remember we talked about Pixar and how they fixate on a new skill? They're like, guys, we nailed the rain. And Toy Story, the rain was terrible. And you never saw it hit the ground. So Toy Story 4 is going to have a massive open with a race car sequence in the rain, all crazy and involved with the water. We got the water effects right. Remember I talked about Soul and how photorealistic the background was and how it almost...
And the sunlight.
It was too clean. It was like too, and like WALL-E, when it gets to be too real looking, you almost lose the magnificence of the visual effects of the animation that took it to that point. It just becomes normal. Like, that tree looks real. That's a boring tree. But no, that tree is animated with millions of moving leaves. And I think the strength of Jurassic World Rebirth was they got dinosaurs in the water to look convincing. Not that stupid eyeball shot for the mosasaur, but when it's splashing in and out of the water, it looks great, and the water effects don't look cheesy. When the T-Rex is stomping through the water, okay, we did that practically in Jurassic Park 3, but dipping its head under the water and snapping at them underwater for a CG dinosaur that's not really there looked amazing. They had that frickin' T-Rex swimming, all like agile and scary. Man, they really did well with the dinosaurs in water effect for Jurassic World Rebirth.
Jurassic World, Way of Water.
The Way of Water. What's the last one? I'm concerned you're missing the big one.
I think I probably am, because the last one is not overt either. But they had to have the dino reveal moment, right? Where the scientist gets to see the dinosaur in person for the first time in all of their majesty. And so he sees the first sample dinosaur. What is it called?
It was like the Titanosaurus or the Titanosaur.
Yes.
Yeah?
The Titanosaurus or the Titan, yeah. And, they're all majestic and they're migrating and whatnot. And their tails are
ridiculous,
gracefully
implausible,
moving through the air. And the big ones, for some reason, are necking.
Yep.
And so I guess we get the first, dinosaurs making love scene in the Jurassic franchise.
They were all intertwined like snakes. It was weird.
With a major selection of the looks your kiddos love, starting at just $4 in the Walmart app, a new school year means a stylish new them. Who knew? Find skater skirts and Crocs that say, I'm casual but cool. Sparkly sneakers that say, it's my classroom, you're just learning in it. And preppy polos that say, I'm the teacher's pet, even if they're mommy's menace at home. Find their favorite styles starting at just $4 in the app. The Walmart you thought you knew is now new.
The McDonald's Snack Wrap is back. You brought it back. Ranch Snack Wrap. Spicy Snack Wrap. You broke the internet for a snack. Snack Wrap is back. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
They were necking.
Is that where you're talking about where he touches the leg and whoops and falls down laughing?
Yeah, it's basically the Brachiosaurus reveal in JP1, and also Alan Grant laying on his childhood favorite dinosaur Triceratops. It's it's got to be the majestic moment.
JP1. The point is, there was that sense of wonder, where now if you see the brachiosaurs munching a tree, you'd be like, boring, which is the point. Nobody cares about real dinosaurs or whatever. And so when I saw the implausibly tailed titanosaurs or whatever, I was like, this is lame. They have no musculature that would support the tails floating like that and being that ridiculously huge or whatever, but it's fine. And he laughs and falls down in the grass and he's like, oh my God, my childhood dream. The movies up until now had lost that sense of wonder. Dominion, Fallen Kingdom, even Jurassic World. It was bigger, it was scarier, darker, meaner, and we got a lot of that with the Mutodons and the D-Rex, but a little bit of the wonder came back where I was like, you can't really see the mosasaur. They're trying to get a shot and it's all scary and unknowable when it's going to come out of the water. And when the T-Rex rolls over and it's right in front of her, she's so close. I got a little bit of that original sense of, oh my God, that has been missing. How can you possibly pull that off 32 years and 6 movies in? 7 movies in? Hard to do.
So that moment worked for you?
Well, it worked that they were excited, that it was his whole life was building up to that, and that it was intimidating, I suppose. And then they were like gentle giants necking in the tall grass or whatever. Sure, it worked. But on the flip side, we also had the deep and the dark and the scary. And we've been moving towards mutant dinosaurs for a long time now. And I was trepidatious.
I thought, wasn't this dinosaur supposed to be Star Wars related?
Kind of. They took direct reference from the Rancor in Return of the Jedi, Episode 3. There's also some xenomorph in there. He actually referenced Gareth Edwards, that is, referenced Rubber Johnny as a more obscure reference. And I was like, oh my God, Rubber Johnny.
What's Rubber Johnny?
It was a Halloween short film of that guy who was all I'll have to send you Rubber Johnny. It's distressing. This is a pre-Kelly Ray era.
Is it a monster?
Kinda.
Movie?
It's a human who's like Rubber Johnny, and he's all distorted and there's armpits and buttholes and stuff all over the place. It's disturbing.
Ew.
It's like body horror because he's just like this mutant human figure or whatever, and it looks like practical AI.
Okay. But so the creature creators for Jurassic World Rebirth referenced Rubber Johnny?
Creators, Gareth Edwards. Yes, he did. Look up Rubber Johnny, I guess. I knew what it was, and I was delighted to that reference. Gareth Edwards, primed, I dare say. Also a fan of Jurassic Park, the franchise, and his dream gig. We talked about his the Creator movie. He was responsible for Rogue One, which a lot of people consider the best of the Star Wars movies, at least of the modern era. So there's your Star Wars connection. A little bit of Rancor. He also did that low-budge monster movie, Monsters, in South America. Not that many movies to get the big job.
I guess you just have to have the right movies to get the big job.
Yeah.
So what reference did I miss?
Oh, definitely the Mutodons, which are just heightened, scarier raptors inside the store, like in the kitchen.
Oh, right.
Where they're hiding amongst the shelves.
Yeah.
Down to the reflection moment where Lex is trying to hide in the cabinet, where the girl is right behind the glass. She's just covering the light with her jacket, which is a really smart move, and it can't smell her.
Right. The toe clicking, the convenience store raptor sequence.
Throwbacks that could have made me roll my eyes. In a direct-to-video sequel, which Jurassic World very well could have ended up being, they could have kept churning out these movies, gone direct-to-video. They could have just redone that scene, but I wasn't mad at it. I rather enjoyed the throwbacks to visual references, and that's a hard thing to pull off.
That's the thing, right? I can't help but go into these movies with the highest and most unreasonable of expectations. I just want them to be Jurassic Park, and perhaps I should just be happy to luxuriate in that world for another 2 hours.
With Oscar winner Mahershala Ali and nominee Scarlett Johansson?
I thought they had a great chemistry. They were both great at their job, but they didn't take themselves too seriously. You know, the way that they introduced their backstory and the fact that they both had endured loss, it kind of worked. I would have expected, Scarlett to go back for Mahershala, regardless of whether he shot the flare, but whatever.
Ripley style after Newt?
Exactly. That was like the last person standing.
Not after the loss she suffered.
Mahershala Ali was great. He was a very likable character. He seemed really capable. I believed the compassion that he had for the family and for Bella. And he was just like so jolly. When you see his face when they rescue him, I'm just like, aww. You see his face on the boat when, they're having their helicopter moment from Jurassic Park 1 where they can actually appreciate the beauty of animals again. I was like so happy for him.
And thus everything is all right in Jurassic World land and nothing wrong with this movie, right?
What are you driving at?
Well, there's bad things too, and I think we'd be remiss to just avoid all the things that did make me roll my eyes or that gave me pause or I was concerned about.
Yeah, like what?
Did you think that lazy, terrible haircut boy was going to die?
Oh, yeah. Every time the father would acknowledge that maybe there was something redeemable to that lazy, dumb boyfriend, that's when I assumed that he was going to get bitten. He was kind of funny. I laughed when the kid was like, I got some weed. And then I was waiting for their response. And then it was even funnier when they played it off as like, he's just joking. And he was like, yeah, I was joking. That just heightens all of the action when you got to drag around, kids and the non-mercenaries, right?
Right. That's exactly what I'm referring to. When we cut abruptly to this family on the boat, I was like, no, it's like we're restarting the story. And they were fodder. They were baggage. They were the things you have to babysit. The family, because the mercenaries can't do their job and be resourceful if they have to babysit the family. Were you concerned at the top when the family appeared? They were Lex and Tim showing up, making this a kid's movie with a baby dinosaur that's cuddly. That's cuddly for merchandising purposes.
Yeah, it wasn't really. It was kind of weird looking, and I was grossed out by the cute cuddly dinosaur. I was like, I don't know.
I've learned to ignore it. Like Ghostbusters Resurrection or whatever when they make the Stay Puft Marshmallow Men cute, there's gonna be a baby dinosaur, and and I think in the original one Lex rode a baby Triceratops or something, and they've avoided that so far, but this is going to be like Las Vegas. It's going to be for adults, and then it's going to be like all about kids for a while, and then it'll come back and be darker and stuff.
I didn't worry when I first saw the family because I didn't realize that they were going to play such a big role in the overall story. I liked their little Jaws-esque action sequence on the water. I thought that was very Spielberg. And when they became a bigger part of the story, I guess I didn't mind so much.
What I will say for Gareth Edwards' Jurassic World Rebirth is that I thought the dinosaurs, for about 99.99% of the time, looked awesome. They were Mutodons and Distortus Rex. Are you aware that that's what that thing is actually called?
The D-Rex?
Distortus Rex. And you see the figure that they sell, the toy that they sell, and you're like, that's what it looks like? It's so dumb. But we didn't get to see it in full frame a lot of the time. We just saw teeth and a bulbous forehead, so it was kind of scary. But the dinosaurs looked great, and the effects were not cheap. I felt like the characters had good backstory. But there is one scene that I want to point to that kind of sums up the Jurassic franchise to me. Look, you hide out until until your family members throw rocks or something and lead the T-Rex away or something. You don't drag the squeaky raft across the dock in front of the sleeping T-Rex when you know it's there.
They didn't even need the boat. Why did they need the boat?
Maybe they needed the boat to get out of there because his leg was messed up. Fine, whatever. But the scene where she inflates the raft, and there were a number of Spielberg, gags where the raft pops out of the water once the danger is past. And hey, look, this is how we move to the next scene, because the raft miraculously, unpunctured, pops out of the water and is like gleaming and pristine in front of them. Yay. That gag where she inflates the raft and the T-Rex stands up and it's like on its side and obscures the frame and then falls down and the T-Rex is gone is singularly the shot that caused the most concern for me. Because number one, that's a cheat. Like literally, they just removed the T-Rex effects. They just didn't add it. And that gag of obscuring the T-Rex, it reminded me of the Spielberg tricks and the stuff that's silly about the original franchise.
So this is a criticism of the original Jurassic Park?
For me, the raft and the convenience of that inflating scene and the silliness of it was akin to the gymnastics of The Lost World.
Oh,
and everybody knows what I'm talking about. It was unnecessary. That the raft scene, while one of my favorites, because it looked so good and the freaking T-Rex was swimming. We haven't seen that before. And gnashing its teeth underwater. I even wasn't mad at the implausibility of her surviving the raft attack. Or you knew she wasn't dead. It wasn't going to destroy her, even though we got the dramatic music or whatever. But just that one shot and then deciding to inflate the raft in front of it while it's facing her, drag the cube into the water or just I don't know. I was concerned that the family was going to slow us down because of the insistence of the marketability of the little stupid dinosaur baby toy and the kids. Why must there always be kids? Especially because the mercenaries weren't all cold and machine guns like we saw in Fallen Kingdom with the Indominus Rex. They were people and they had feelings and morals and were rescuing each other and sacrificing themselves. In lesser hands, I think it could have been a terrible sequel. Do you know that Scarlett Johansson is the first and only person ever to kill a dinosaur all graphically with a gun?
Oh.
When she slides down all Black Widow into the storm drain and shoots the dinosaur and it dies, the Mutodon, that's the only time that's ever happened.
Well, what about shoot her?
Yeah, didn't actually shoot her.
Well, maybe he didn't, but they did.
Not on screen.
All right.
They shocked it, and then he was gonna shoot her, and then the clever girl took him out.
Oh, that's right. That's why the boyfriend should have been attacked. Maybe the raft sequence was just in service of getting that shot of the T-Rex trying to eat Lexi through the glass, but in this instance, trying to eat Bella through the raft.
Sure.
See, they were just working in the references.
Yeah, and you could see the teeth protruding, coming through the canvas of the raft, but not puncturing it. Basically, the key question is, how are you going to justify the making of this movie? And I think they found the answer. I think by making it fun, it wasn't too dark, but there was a lot of darkness. They furthered the story, I guess, with the mutants. I was satisfied. I was relieved, frankly, that we were back in the jungle, which is scary, where dinosaurs belong. I didn't much like them running around downtown San Diego. You get a good star to anchor it, a couple of big stars, and you don't spend a lot of time on the science. They were there for a thing, and they had to get samples, okay, fine. And the samples didn't hurt the dinosaurs, and it was from eggs, and it was from shooting them in the neck, so they didn't even feel it. We're there for the wonder, and I think for the most part, this movie delivered so that I was relieved.
Jurassic World Rebirth clears the bar?
Yes.
Because I don't think Dominion did.
I don't think so either, but I was dreading the mutant angle, and the mutant angle it only served to have sillier looking dinosaurs, but no less scary. Fine. It's fine. All right movie. I had fun at Jurassic World Rebirth.
We hope that you had fun with this discussion of Jurassic World Rebirth here at Or Whatever Movies. If you did, let us know, 818-835-0473 or whatevermovies@gmail.com.
Or Whatever Movies to find 400 plus more other reviews. Crazy.
Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time. Na, 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 na.
Wait, did you do your own
how
fade?
I did the fade?
That was pretty good. The fade was really good.
Hey guys, it's your girl Yasia. I want to share some really exciting news with you. I just dropped my first ever single, Spell on You, off my upcoming debut EP, Devil's Room, on RM Records. It's simply devilicious. Check out Spell on You wherever you listen to music. Bye for now.
I never thought I'd fall in love like this. It's time to close the chapter, but I think I needed this.
Ever thought about starting your own podcast?
Do you have a business or a message you want to share with the world?
Well, now it's easier than ever with Electricast. Hi, I'm Mark Netter.
And I'm Peter Rafelson. We're the founders of Electricast Media.
Whether you want to start a new podcast or already have one, join Electricast to grow your audience, monetize your content, and build your community.
With our simple sign-up, you get free promotion, world-class analytics, premium ads, and personal support.
Go to electricast.com and join our community today.
Electricast. Transform your influence.
Electricast.